Welcome to 2021. Today we got 4 tips to help you with either your MacBook Pro or your iMac. Let's get into it. Welcome back. And again, I hope 2021 gets a lot better, so we'll see here. Anyways, what I wanted to do, you know my channel, I go through tips quickly and I try to find tips that are just a little bit different just to help people with things built into macOS. I mean, these tips are going to be for you, obviously your MacBook Pro or for your iMac, but they're really macOS tips. And they're things that, are very common that you can use very quickly. I want them, people to be able to pick these up really quickly, but I want them to be useful, but also things that a lot of people don't even know exist, built into macOS that can really help them. So I'm going to go through all 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, fairly quickly, and just show you how to do them. I'll do a screenshot here on my system so you can see what I'm doing. I try to make it as easy as possible for people. Subscribe to my channel if you can, because I do tips like this all the time. I do, automator tips. I do a whole bunch of different things. I do reviews of products. A lot of, and 90% Mac, probably I do about 10% PC and gadgets. So subscribe if you can, it's going to help me out. But let's get into this one. Tell me what you think. Post some comments too of other tips you can find out there. These are going to be, pretty good tips. So let's get into it really quickly, and you tell me at the end of the video what you think. I sure wish I was here right now. Anyways, let's go ahead with tip number 1. This one's going to be really easy. So I have created a folder here in the middle, and I call it, just a test folder. There's some test files in here. For test number 1, you can see this is a PDF document. See it right there? And if I go ahead and I click on this, it's basically going to come up. But there's nothing really in here. It just says testing 1, but it's just a PDF. The title says testing 1. There's not really a good way to search for this. If I go ahead and right click on it though, and I put get info right here, and then I move this over here, there's a comment section. See it right here? So I can type in, I did a video recently on a Digiland tablet right there. So I'm just going to put in Digiland. So just, that's the only comment I'm going to put in there is Digiland, so I know it's a Digiland tablet, just an identifier. And then I'm going to go ahead and shut that down. So now if a year or 2 goes by and I want to find something, I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? What I can do is I can go ahead and open up Spotlight over here, see it here, and I can type in Digiland, search for it, and there it is right here. So see test 1. I've done it a few times, that's why they're in there. But basically there it is right there. So you can see how it just came up. There's no identifier here, obviously, and there's no identifier in the title name. So the comments is really good for that kind of stuff. If you just don't want to have to go in and make changes, you just want to identify a file for later use, you can do it really easy with that. So that's just one example. Again, it's super simple, but sometimes people want to use that for, and they want to know what that's for. So number 2 is, again, we're going to use that and we'll get info to figure out what we can do in there that's going to be interesting. So let's just go ahead and pick this file here, number 1, and just highlight it and then right click on it and then click get info right there. So it's going to pull up the same window over here. So what else can we do in here? Well, one cool thing here is, look at this, there's a locked. And again, this is self-explanatory, but people just don't even know this exists. So I'm going to click on that. Nothing really happens, and except it locks it. And I basically click, I just shut it down just like that. Now the beauty of this is, let's just assume that's something that's very important to me. It's maybe family photo or something. It can be any kind of document, something that I just do not ever want to accidentally delete. Use mark that way. So now here's my trash bin down here. See it down here? Let's just, now watch what happens. I'm going to take that file and I'm going to move it down to the trash. I'm going to put it right there. And look at that. I get this right in the middle. It says item test 1 was locked. Do you want to move it to the trash anyway? So it gives me the option of stopping it right there. And it just notifies me basically that that's locked. So again, it's just something extra where you can, make sure that you don't delete files or family photos or just important documents that you might accidentally at one point, down the road. Again, you can right click on it, click get info, and then you can unlock it just as easily by just clicking on that and then shutting that down, and it's unlocked, and it'll let you go ahead and choose it like that, just like I did, and you can move this right back down and into the trash, and now it's gone without that message. That's all there is to that one. That's tip number 2. All right, so moving down those lines, let's go ahead and click on this test 2. This is going to be a PDF document again, but it's just a sample. Let's go ahead and right click on this again, and this is going to be tip number 3. Let's go ahead and click on get info again. So we're going to move this over here so you can see what's going on. So there's another thing here. It's called stationary pad. See it right there? And now a lot of people have no idea what that is. Locked makes a little bit more sense. Stationary pad does not. So what you want to do is you want to click on that, and then you can go ahead and shut this down. So what does this actually do? It basically means that anytime you open this up, and I'll do that in a second, and I'll show you before I do it, but anytime I open this up, or if I'm going to try to change it, it's going to create a duplicate of it, and I'll show you what that means. So let me go ahead and just double click on it right now. See that? It opened up it, and the file is now open, and now look what happened. It created a test copy. So all this basically does is if you open up a file that has that stationery tab clicked, it'll actually create a copy of it just in case you go in and edit that and you didn't mean to, or you make a big mistake or something, and now you have a copy of the original right here. So it basically will never let you open up that file without copying it first, and it copies it over with the whatever you had in there last. That way, if you make a big mistake or you didn't mean to edit that file or something happens to it, you always have that copy back there. And again, just to show you again, I'm going to right click on it, click Get Info, and then, same thing as the other one. You can go ahead and click this off and then just click the red dot or the red X there, and that'll remove that. And now, obviously, if I try to open that up, I double click on it, it's not going to create another copy of it. I mean, this is the copy from before, but it didn't create a second copy. So that's all stationery is really for, but you can think of some uses for that to save you in some times of need. So definitely use that, and that's a good tip there for number 3. All right, for tip number 4, we're going to concentrate on these files right here. This is a little bit more common. A lot of people may know about this, some people may not, so I just wanted to share this. It's very useful. So these are basically PNG files, but just think of them as JPEGs. They can be JPEGs or movies or anything you want them to be. They're just basically graphics right now, and they could be any type of file. So let's just assume this is either a vacation or project work. Now, I took screenshots of everything here, and you can see the name of it is really kind of screenshot 2020. It gives the date, but the date's over here as well. So that's not that useful to me. I want to make sure that I put this under a project name. And I have, let's just say I don't only have 9 of these here, but I have like 900. I'm not going to go one by one and rename these. So, and not only that, I want them to all share the same name. And think of family photos for vacations. This will be more useful for even something like that, so you can kind of categorize those. In any case, let's just assume this is a project. I'm going to go ahead and select all 9 of them. You can hit Shift and then select all those. So these are all selected. What you want to do is you want to right-click on it, and you want to go down to Rename 9 items. Now this box will come up here, and you want to leave this as Format is the top box, Name Format. You want to put Name and Index, Where, and then you do After Name. And so let's just assume this is a specific project. I'm just going to call it, Test Project. Just pretend like I want to look up that later, and make it obviously Italy trip or whatever you want to name it. And then starts at number 1. So we're going to go ahead then and just click on Rename here. Now watch what happens to the files. Obviously, this one's going to, oh, there it goes. So it renamed all 9 of them, Test Project 1, Test Project 2, Test Project 3, all the way down. Now, again, this is great because it renames all your files, and by doing so, it keeps the dates the same, so you can go ahead and search for dates by trips and stuff, trips by dates. But it also, you can put in Italy or whatever, and then all the stuff that you want to search for later in life, let's say your Italy trips or your trips to Poland or whatever, you can go ahead and just search for that word and it'll come up. So that's just a great way to really massively change file names. Again, a lot of people know about this, but it's just something I wanted to share. All right, so not too bad, huh? Obviously, the renaming of photos, a lot of people probably know about that one. But the other ones that are built into, more info, where you can actually lock these files and you can also duplicate them before, anytime you make a change to them. Those are really valuable. A lot of people don't even know those exist. They see them there. They see those little check marks, but they don't do the research to figure out what they're for. So that's what I'm all about. I'm trying to help people figure out what those things are for. So if you subscribe to my channel, you're going to get a lot more information like this. Helps out the channel, but also, hopefully I help people, realize how to use macOS and everything that's built into it. Again, stay safe in 2021. I know the pandemic's not over yet, but hopefully we'll have a better 2021, moving forward. Let's get past this winter and then hopefully back into the summer. Hopefully travel will open up and we can get out there and go to more like technology shows and see more Apple stuff up close. So talk to you soon. You guys know what I always say and what I always sign off with. It's the same thing as a huge YouTuber, but I'm not changing, so I'll talk to you soon. Peace.